Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new lag poker session. Today, I'm gonna play with you two tables at an L25 Zoom. Uh, let's start. Nothing else to say. Okay, we have Queen 10 suited and also Queen Jack off. Queen 10 suited, we have a limp and an ISO and a call. It's not the best hand to play out of position there, so I'm just gonna fold as well as versus UTG, versus a regular UTG on table 2. So I'm just gonna fold that as well. Also depends on the player. Some players are looser than others, so if somebody is a bit looser, I'm speaking about the Queen Jack off, we may definitely sometimes go for call, but it really depends. On table 1, we see, but not the best turn ever. Our hand is pretty weak. It's gonna get weaker on the turn, on the river probably. I think check folding here is the best option we have. Not an option we like, the best we have probably. And again, on table 2 and on table 1, I'm still gonna check and fold. I don't see him betting that many hands weaker than ours, but also I don't see him folding much, anything better than us. So I would say check folding is totally fine. On table 1 we have now ace king, and as well also on table 2 we have the inverted suit. That's funny. We 3-bet on table 2 and we open on table 1. Table 2 we will get it in if somebody 4-bets. We shove. I know he's a regular. They don't call for bet much, but in this dynamic versus a regular, I don't think I can do anything but this. He calls, he has kings. Let's go for ace. Would be nice to see it on the river. Nope, no ace on the river, so we just lose it unluckily. King 7 suited and king 9 off. Let's see if we are live. Yes, we are. Let me open the chat as well, since for some reason it didn't open. Okay. Just a second. Okay. Table 1 I called because I think he might be a regular, recreational, sorry, very likely, but we are not gonna do much on this board. Okay, let me move this away. Let me get again the chat. Okay. I'm gonna bluff this, hoping he folds ace high. I don't need to make it bigger on table 1, and on table 2, I'm just gonna check back. Not the best turn ever. I think I'm gonna try to get to showdown here for free, if possible. He may be bluffing sometimes, but don't care about being bluffed there. And table 1 instead, we do squeeze here with ace jack off. And fold, of course, to this line. Ace 3. Gonna fold. Okay. Ace jack off. We're gonna call versus the button raiser. Could also be a 3-bet to be honest, especially versus this guy. And I am going sometimes to call 4-bet as a bluff in this situation. Folding to shove, of course. Queen 9. We do raise. We fold here with ace jack. Ace 9. We are gonna raise probably. Yep. And also with the ace jack. Not gonna call a 3-bet here. This guy is 3-betting 3%, and he's doing it from the small blind, which usually, from the big blind, which usually is quite strong from a weak player. And on table 1, we try to win this here with decent blockers versus this guy. We might keep firing sometimes. No need now. Jack 9 off and 5-3. 5-3 we fold. Jack 9 off is probably gonna be a fold more often than not. We do raise ace 10 suited. This guy makes a silly 3-bet. We are gonna call in position to this price. Okay. This is usually a situation in which we are gonna lose a lot of money. Let's see, we're gonna call. I don't see us folding on this turn when we don't block any draw, and there are plenty. Difficult to fold on the river. Gonna call and hope not to see that, but unluckily he had that, but we really cannot fold here. And try to get to showdown on table 1 instead. So good showdown. Gonna 3-bet on table 1 and fold table 2. But can't do much versus a 4-bet with king jack off. We are raising now on table 1 with king jack off. I make it 3x given both blinds are weak players. It's close here. They probably have very loose ranges and they're probably not fighting much for pots. So I would say betting is still an option. It really depends on my opponents. If they both call, I'm not gonna keep firing, especially in a card like this. So just gonna check and fold. Easy fold river, obviously. King deuce. We are gonna raise. Okay, to make it 3x given the big blind. Could sometimes be a 4-bet versus a regular, I don't mind. Gonna 4-bet this time. And also here we could sometimes call 4-bet versus the small blind. We open with the 6-7, flop a gut shot, and we are gonna raise. C-bet. I don't know. Today I'm mixing terms apparently. C-bet. No, not gonna bet call with the gut shot. And 7 high. So this guy was check folding on the flop. I'm gonna still check on the turn. On this turn, he may change idea and just fold. King 8 suited, we raise. King 10 off on table 1 instead. Gonna raise. And with the 5-7. So this guy looks like a loose player so far. Gonna fold to a 3-bet. Could sometimes even there call 4-bet. I wouldn't mind. Street table here. Queen 3. Face a UTG limp. And let's see. Not a standard open on table 1, just I don't mind opening when the button and the big blind are both recreational players. Table 2, not much to do to be honest, just gonna check, and we may sometimes raise versus this guy. I think he's gonna check bet fold a lot in this situation given also his stack, so I'm gonna do that and no need to make it huge. We are just trying to make him fold whenever he has nothing, which is gonna be quite frequent I would say. So he does. C-bet on table 1. With our overpair, we are obviously bet calling. And let's see with this ace king what we do. 4 hits. Gonna keep firing. Not the best flop, however, is somewhat short, so probably is not going to fool around too much. But the flop, here we're gonna value bet the river, something like that. I'm gonna check turn, and if he checks back, we may bluff river sometimes. But also, with his king, I don't mind checking and getting to showdown. Both fine options. I think he could have sometimes something like ace king, ace queen, ace jack. Stuff like that. Don't know if he's folding if I shove. And with ace king, I would say it's fine. If I had this jack, probably I would shove here. With ace king, probably. Easier to win or to split, as it happened right now. But yeah. We're gonna raise with pocket threes and a6 suited. Fold in the threes. Fold in the a6 to this action. K9 and pocket aces. Oh, pocket aces is so painful when this happened. Fold into 3-bet. K9 suited. Jacks. With ace. And I'm gonna call in position. Gonna call flop. Might call on the turn. It's close if he bets. He checks. Once he checks, should we really bet? Well, I don't think it's a must. I think we can also just check, and on table 1, we are gonna do this. Do we have a value bet here? We might have one. It is a thin value bet, of course, but I don't mind. Oh, he has aces. Too bad. And well, here is a fold, obviously. Ten nine could be a call, could be a 3-bet. This time I'm going to 3-bet. I think value betting those jacks is fine on the double queen. I mean, he can have kings and aces, of course, when he balances them on the turn. But he can have also 10s and 9s as frequently as them, plus some 8x, some 7x, and I think he might call with all of them. So I would say there are way more combos we beat when he check calls than they beat us, so it's fine. I'm gonna try to win this. Unlikely, check calls something very strong, so we keep firing and he folds. Not in love with cold calling from the, well, now nothing more, of course. I would have sometimes cold called the ace-8 suited. While here on table 1, I will start fighting here and bluff on the river when you have a decent blocker. Not gonna bluff on the 4. Would have bluffed the heart, 10, jack, stuff like that. Not gonna bluff this. Okay, table 2 is gonna be a check call on the flop. Same on the turn. And when he checks back on the river, I'm just gonna make a decently big bet. I don't think he's gonna fold queens, aces, stuff like this. But when he raises here, is always ultra nutted. He has probably a flush or pocket 9, stuff like that. So for us, it's a really easy fold. Pocket 8s. Calling there. Check on the flop, I would say, is gonna be pretty standard, while on table 2, just have to fold. If he bets, he checks. Just check back. Me bluff sometimes on the turn, given we have 5 high. If he check calls, we're just gonna fold, but he just gives up, which is okay. Table 1, we check again on the turn. Checks back. I think we have enough showdown value to check, and he's probably not gonna bluff if he didn't bluff until here. Ace king. 3 betting. This guy calls. We are gonna c-bet. And we are gonna raise with king 10 suited. He shoves, I would say too weak to bet call. And on table 2 instead, it is close, we can bet, we can check. I would say they're both fine options. I'm gonna check this time and evaluate if to call or not on the river. Jack hits. He shouldn't hit this much. If he had a draw, things like 7-8, 3-4, 4-5, stuff like that, we win. He might fold if he shoves something like 6x, 7, 8, stuff like this, but I think ace king has enough showdown value to check back. Pocket 5s he would have folded, but of course it is a small part of his range, so I don't mind. King use. Holding. Okay, jack off. Ace king again. Not that lucky today so far. Got the blinds. Enough. Enough. It's gonna be a check call on table 2, and I'm gonna start betting for value on the turn. Might check call on the river, given many draws got busted. We raise it with the king 4. Aces again. Let's see if we can get something more than the blinds this time. Maybe. Gonna fold here, obviously. Okay, let's dance. Oh. Ooh. That went well, I would say. I would say it went well. Queens now. We do raise. Button call calls. It's a nice flop. Given the bad player here, I'm just gonna bet big because I don't care about using balanced bet size here. I just want to get the maximum from my hand versus his range. I'm gonna keep firing big. I don't want to let him the chance to check back an ace. No, this river is we're just gonna shove. He's not gonna fold an ace if he has one. He doesn't, apparently. Trying to get to showdown with the ace-4. We get it. Nice. In a three-way pot here, I don't think we have a lot of fold equity. Just gonna check. So the button doesn't have much. Quickly checked. So I'm gonna try to win this here with pocket deuces. Hoping the big blind doesn't have much as well. It doesn't. Nice. I prefer to win it here than get to showdown with pocket deuces. Too likely that we fall behind versus two opponents, especially when, you know, the guy on the button was check folding on the flop, so we knew he had nothing. D8 was a blank for him, so we know one player is out basically, and so I will say it's fine to attack the regular. On table 1, I am just going to 4-bet, call a shove eventually. 9-10. Call pre-flop. We have now a gut shot. I am gonna call if he bets. If he checks, we can do a couple of things. I would say betting is fine, as well as checking. I'm gonna go for the bet this time. Bet call, probably, given the hand we have. And here, it is close. I would say betting is still fine. I don't think I'm going to triple barrel anyway. I think if he's... I mean, the weakest hand he check called on the flop, I think, is check folding on the turn. So I think if he check called twice, given also the kind of player he is not gonna give up on the river easily. I'm gonna bet here. Okay. We get a call. Not the best flop, especially given that usually this kind of players, when they call a 3-bet, they have a lot of pairs in their range, meaning he's never gonna fold here. So we just check back, hoping he gives us a showdown. Not very likely. Can you call here? I would say it's sometimes fine, because sometimes it's gonna have things like ace queen, ace jack, who's gonna check on the river and win that. Plus the little equity we have, of course. Gonna fold if he bets on the river though. Yeah. If he bet bigger on the turn, I would have folded obviously there, but he made, I think he gave us a nice price, given that we can improve with our hand in many ways. We may have the best hand if he gives up on the river, and I would say it's fine. But yeah, I think what's important there is not to reason in a classical way that, you know, this board favors our range, because he doesn't know. He probably has a pair, and if he has a pair, he's not gonna fold it on that board. Probably not even on multiple streets. So I would say that's the way we should reason that hand. Okay, it's a nice flop. Given how short he is, we may sometimes choose to just check back. However, I don't think he's gonna check shove ultra wide on this board. He will sometimes, especially when he has a king and stuff like this, but I think it is not the kind of board that he's gonna check shove a ton. If it was a lower board, I would have checked a bit more, probably. Pocket 8, we raise, this guy is a regular, let me mark him, and we are gonna call the 3-bet in position. Not the best flop, we are gonna call on the flop if he bets, reevaluate on the turn depending on the blockers and the equity we might have or not have. If he keeps fighting here, I'm just gonna fold. We just block draws, we don't block any of his value, so if he keeps firing, this is a give up for me. Ace 10 off. Definitely a hand we want to ISO versus a limp. And we're gonna bet. I think he's gonna check shove if he has a pair, but he's gonna give up easily if he doesn't, especially given his tech. Pocket checks. The button is tagged as a maniac. May come some interesting spot may pop out. Let's see. Of course, we're never gonna fold this preflop versus a guy who is marked as a maniac. Ace king on table 2. Raise. Can we 4-bet? Yes, we can also call when you are 200 big blinds deep. But now I'm gonna 4-bet, given the recreational player who call on the big blind. If he shoves, can we ever fold 200 big blinds deep? I would say versus an unknown player, probably. This guy calls, the flop is not the best, obviously. Does c-betting makes any sense? I mean, I don't think. Maybe if I had the diamond. And they're just gonna fold if he bets now. I think sometimes with ace queen ace jack he would just. I mean, he has a lot of pocket pairs when he plays that way, and this is not the kind of board where he is gonna fold a lot. So I think we should just give up. E9. We'll start with a c-bet. King queen. And we're gonna call in position versus this player. Not a good flop. If he checks, we may start betting given the board, but if he bets, we just fold. Not hitting much today, unluckily. Well, kind of win every day. Okay, to open this at this table. It's a bit sticky and aggressive with this guy, so I would be quite careful with c-betting with him, and I'm gonna check even here and get to showdown with hoping queen I is gonna be enough. Unlikely, but let's see. It is. It is, which is good news for us. King deuce. Definitely calling pre-flop. Most likely a check fold on this board. I mean, if you bet small, we can call, probably. Sometimes phrasing is weird, but yeah, I would choose other combos to raise with. Okay. We are c-betting versus this guy, who is probably a recreational player. He raises, we definitely call, of course. Turn me like. And if he bets, I think I'm just gonna raise because he's probably, I mean, if he's a recreational, which probably is, he won't be able to fold many hands weaker than ours. Straight, sets, stuff like this. So we just raise. He may have sometimes a better flush than us, of course, which is gonna suck. He knows us, so we put it blue. Pocket sevens on table 2. It is gonna be a 3-bet. Oh, still prefer to bet than to check because if he folds literally anything he have, we are happy. He does fold, which is fine. Kings. Three betting, of course, shoving if he 4-bets. Ace king on table 2. Will be a squeeze. Would be nice to get in with the guy who has 46 pints. Nope. Ace 4 and 3-5. Ace 4, we're just gonna fold. 3-5 off. It's probably gonna be a fold. Queen jack. Nope. That's cool. Let's defend this big blind. That's a pretty nice flop. Versus a regular donk betting is definitely a nice option. I don't mind check raising in general anyway. It's very likely we do something wrong on a board like this, and on a turn like this, I'm just gonna check call. Check raise or check call with this is fine, and here I don't think he has much, to be honest. I'm just gonna do this. And that's it. On table 2, I'm gonna check call. Check raising also, as I mentioned, was definitely an option. We are gonna check call on the turn as well. 7-8 gutter, obviously that's not great, but at the same time, many other draws are there, and we still can have the best top pair. The river is nice. I don't think it's betting on the turn with a 6, so I would say it's in general a blank card, and we are gonna call if he bets. I don't think anything else is an option. I don't like him over betting though, but Not the best timing to have a top pair. Okay, we are gonna 3-bet these pocket eights and open this ace 10. Hi Francesco, why do you prefer zoom over regular cash? Not gonna see bet this. How many buy-ins do you usually have for the working stake? What number of tables do you play when not streaming? By the way, good luck at the tables. Thank you. So, I prefer usually zoom tables because they allow me to put in more volume. I sacrifice some big blinds per 100, obviously, but I think in profit per hour, they are usually better. So I prefer zoom tables for this reason. Speaking of zoom tables, I can play 4 tables without any issues. Interesting flop. Many options. Check call and check shove is something interesting that I think I will do this time. If I happen to play normal tables, oh, that's a tricky turn. I think I have to check call probably. Oh, it really sucks. And on this river, it's fairly easy. It is the best options. He's gonna call with any jack. I don't think he's shoving as a bluff ever. If he shoves, he probably has something like king queen, and yeah. Anyway, yeah, I would say I hope I answered to everything. I was a bit distracted by the action. 3-betting here. The buy-ins for the stake. I usually used during my professional career. I used a quite safe. I mean, I wouldn't say ultra safe, but quite safe approach. I was having 70 buy-ins per stake, which is, yeah, I would say it's on the safe side for cash games. I don't think it is usually the best to do. I think you could also use a more aggressive approach. But again, I was playing professional full-time. Poker was my only income, and I think being extra safe about bankroll was important. If poker is not your only source of income, I think you can be way more aggressive than that. I would say 30 buy-ins per stake is more of a standard approach, and I would say is a good compromise in between climbing the stakes fast and managing a bit the variance. But yeah, I mean, as long as you're detached from money, and as long as you have the discipline to move down and up whenever it's time to do that, I would say you can be quite aggressive with your bankroll management in cash games. Gonna call in position here versus a recreational player. If you bet big, I'm just gonna fold. If you bet small, we might float once, but yeah, it's a bit close. To this size, probably I can fold without a heart. Eight, 9 suited. We are gonna call, I guess. Nope. I guessed wrong. I don't mind rebetting this. Time to time. Of course, it's to fold versus a 4-bet. Ace King. We've seen Ace King a lot today. Not very successfully, but we've seen it a lot. And again. And again. Kings. My dear kings, can you get paid? Okay, we have a limp. If your limp raises, I'm gonna hate my life. Okay, at least it doesn't. Oh, I'm gonna still hate my life probably here, but still a bit better than seeming limp raising. Oh boy, what is this? Table do. I can try to bet here. I'm just gonna check fold here. I don't know anything about this guy. I don't know what will he do on the river. And here it is close. I would say the king itself, it's not a big part of his calling range preflop. Could have aces sometimes, which is gonna suck. If he doesn't have aces, I think we can make him fold. Yeah. A7. Do raise. 7-9 is a nice hand to check call or check raise. I like both options. I'm gonna go for the check raise this time. He calls and we hit a pretty nice turn, I would say, and I'm just gonna bet this size and call if he shoves, of course. And we have the nut, so we happily shove on this river. Nope, not enough, my friend. Okay. I don't look at my graph when we play, but I think we might be back on track. Let's see how long it will take for this ace king to ruin us. Let's see. Oh, okay. Ace king with 3-bet, hoping to get it in with this guy who only has 60 blinds. We shove, and good luck to us. Okay. Gonna pay some rake. Pocket raise, we open. Got a couple of calls. Of course, I don't think we have a lot of fold equity here. We check and hope for a 3 of spades on the turn. Nope, no 3 of spades for us. This guy bets, we just fold. This This guy is not playing full stack, which is very weird, given he is a regular. I normally do not cold call here, but the big blind is also is educational, so I don't mind having a cold calling range. Not gonna do much on this board, just check and fold. Okay, I don't mind bluffing this with pocket deuces. Of course, we are not very happy with our holding. Also not very happy to see this guy calling, but we may still be ahead, especially when he has a draw. A bit more unlikely now that we're ahead. I'm just gonna check and fold, I would say. Do we ever bluff again? Nah. Nothing wrong with that. So the question here is that I don't think he's value betting a diamond with this sizing. I think he would have bet bigger. I don't think he's value betting a queen. 4-5 got there as well, unluckily. I think just gonna fold. Could be 4-5 easily. By the way he played. Jacks. It's a fold here, unluckily. This guy is 3-betting very few, and I would have played this hand maybe with a 4-bet versus a regular, stuff like this, but he's 3-betting very few, and I think folding there is the best option we have, even though we may not like it. King Jack. Three-betting here. Not the best timing, and folding. Oh, well, I would have folded 100x. 200x, probably it's a call. Given we can make the nut sometimes, and we are going to check call this flop. He checks back. I don't mind checking again on this turn. Given the kind of player he is, I'm gonna check call. Oh my god, that's ugly. 4-5 and ace jack. 4-5, nothing. Ace jack. We do bet. Raise, and we do bet this flop. Quickly calls. I'm gonna bet again, the bigger side. It's a bet fold. On this river, I'm gonna team value bet. Something like that. And that's it. Table 2, we bet. We're good on table 1. Sweet. Game 5. Let's see. We might be able to play that. Mind betting in position sometimes, especially versus a bad player. And here I'm gonna call because the there are two really random players here, which is nice to have in the hand. I'm gonna check call on table 2. Sometimes I don't mind playing this hand this way. Gonna check call again on the turn. Sometimes check raising also is an option. We have a lot of equity and he may be bluffing. On this river, I don't mind checking and shoving. He might be bluffing sometimes. Check call versus a maniac on the turn. on the flop and probably also on the turn. And I guess on the river as well, given the player. Okay. Ace king. We go for a raise. We can call. We can forward. I don't mind calling as deep as we are. This flop is gonna be a check call. Unless he makes it pot. If he pots it, we may fold, I would say. If he makes it 6, I will say calling here is good option. Now, is he bluffing enough on a 7 on the turn? I'm not sure. And on this river, can we ever bluff? I mean, I think he will be calling with ace high. So I'm just gonna check and probably fold also because I don't think he's bluffing much in general. He's not gonna bluff if he has an ace. If he doesn't, will be bluffing enough? But again, I don't think it's a spot where they bluff enough. So I would say folding is okay. Table 1, we are going to check raise sometimes. We bet on the turn. I don't mind betting big, given the kind of player he is. And on this river, I have to check raise because he may be doing some silly stuff. But unluckily, he doesn't. He had a 4, yeah. I'm gonna try with ISO versus the Maniac if the player on my right doesn't rebet himself. He doesn't. Okay. Gonna sit out soon as well. Guy shoves. Of course we cannot fold. Too short. Okay, interesting on table 1. We are going to check call or check raise. I don't mind both lines. And on this board, given the kind of player he is, I don't hate checking and bluff catching him many times, turn and or river. Yeah, I think I have to bluff catch this guy, given the way he plays. Do we have value? Well, a bit too thin. He might call sometimes, but I think it's a bit too thin. So I'm just gonna check and give up. Okay. Nice flop. We are gonna check call or check raise. I like both lines. Let's see what he does. I'm gonna check raise this turn. I think if he has an ace, he's gonna bet call. And I'm gonna check and probably call this river if he bets. Nope. Raise with pocket sevens. Probably gonna call in position versus somebody who looks like a bad player, especially when there is a call. Nope. Not gonna continue here if somebody bets. When they both check, however, a hand like this, I think it plays better as a bet than as a check back. And we get the spot, which is nice. Ace 3. Can we bluff? I would say sometimes we can, depends on how bad we think our opponent is. Gonna check this time. Maybe bluffing the turn. But if he bets, we just fold. And I'm gonna sit out next pre-line as mentioned. Oh. Okay. I would mix this. I would sometimes bet call and sometimes check back. This time we go for the bet call. Again, checking back, absolutely fine. Nice turn. Do we want to check it sometimes? We may do as a mixing strategy sometimes. I would say usually in the field, the bet plays a bit better. If I was playing a higher stake, I would check more often this on the turn. But here I would say betting is slightly better. Okay. Okay, well, we lost at the end only one stack. Also decent amount by EV, so we managed to get it almost back. I hope that you enjoyed this session. I was thinking about what to do in this channel as streaming. Somebody said last time that somebody suggested to make a bankroll challenge. What stopped me to do that so far in this channel was that to do it again, because I did this back in 2020 and you can probably see it back in the channel. But the reason why I didn't do it right now is because I don't have much time. But I think something interesting, maybe a bankroll challenge with a very, very aggressive bankroll management. It's gonna be funny. It's gonna give a theme to my streaming, something like 10x bankroll challenge, stuff like this. I think I'm gonna do that because it's funnier. Again, it can be quick even if I don't play much. So it's gonna be entertaining, which I think is the most important thing when you speak about a poker content nowadays. And so yeah, I think I'm gonna schedule something like that, something like from 100 to 10k, stuff like this. I think it may be pretty interesting to see and funny to see. I will see anyway. I think I will do that as soon as I have a little bit of time, probably next week or something like that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this stream. Please let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.